Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mulroy Bay and Farming Simulator 15, or the other way around, whichever way you want. I've found out the source of the refueling problem I put up a kind of emergency video about on Friday night, Saturday morning kind of thing. And it's really done. As you know, I got a G27 and I actually have some stuff bound to the H shifter. Now, when I'm just faffing about, as you can hear me moving it about here, when I'm faffing about, I leave it in first gear. I can't do that with Farm Sim, because that means I can't do anything. I completely forgot, and I spent half an hour trying to figure out what I'd broken on the map. So, I'm actually going to turn off the tractor. I turned it on, I don't know why. So let's have a look at ground level at my edit. So here's the pickup in its new spot. House is looking nice, and this is really tight. This is actually quite tight to get stuff into this shed, but I think it's going to be interesting getting stuff into these sheds. And that hasn't been moved. I think I might have lowered it slightly, but that's about it. So off camera I've done, oh my god, I've done so much work off camera. Apart from the edits, I'm gonna have to come over with a cultivator and just nip that. So I've mowed this field 33, and it's all ready for silage once I can get a thing. Forage wagon. And if I come over here, you can see field 12 has also been mowed and rode up, ready for some... I'm gonna call it spare hay, because I really don't know if I'm gonna get cows, so the stuff over here is just gonna be spare until I get the word. Bale trailer, that's the word. So yeah, the stuff over here is kind of going spare. I'm quite happy with the edits I did. They're small, but I kind of do prefer the look of the Giants fuel triggers on maps like this. And yeah, I think the NI modding sheds actually kind of fit within the map, so it's not that bad. And that edge appears to be floating. I might have to go back into Giants Editor and fix that, because I did do a bit of smoothing. So some things might be a bit odd. So let's actually get to work after almost probably about 3 minutes of faffing about. It's almost, I was gonna say almost 4 minutes, and no. So I'm doing something different now, because I realized over the weekend that my mic volume just completely obliterated everything else. And 1 second, I have cappuccino, so I'll be kind of drinking that as I go along. So what I'm doing now is smacking my lips together, because cappuccino is delicious. But I am using Audacity to record my mic, and perhaps to record everything else. So hopefully you'll get... Well, I say hopefully, you will get better audio balance now, because, well, I'll be able to balance it instead of just guessing how loud the game should be for my mic. It's a win-win situation, because if I can balance it around my mic, then you guys don't get your ears blown off when I get louder. Or you guys don't get the horrible knowledge that if you turn it up, I'm going to get louder eventually, and then you have to turn it up anyway. Especially headphone users. That's... yeah, I need to come back into Giants Editor and fix that. That's an easy fix, I just need to move those hedges around. So, yesterday I spent so long on Farm Sim. I think I started like 6 yesterday evening, editing Mulroy, editing this map, and then I kind of went from there until probably 4 this morning. Today's Saturday. I went until about 4 this morning, just between editing and... Did I move this fence, or was that windrow always in that spot? Between editing and doing off-camera work, and my god, field 35 or 33 I am never touching again. It is just too big to work with. It's too big to work with the more setup that I have. Because, well, you guys know my insanity knows no bounds, and yes, I did do it all manually. There was no course play or GPS. Why am I so stupid at times? Most of the time. All the time. Never did check if that bale that came out was straw or hay. Where is it? Oh good, it's a hay bale. So, yeah. I'm gonna try and focus on pigs and beef on this map because, well, that's something that I usually kind of neglect and go for the normal animals. Normal. I say normal. I normally go for the stuffed giants through in themselves. You know, the cows and the sheep and the chickens and that sort of stuff. But I think it's about time I kind of messed about with something different. And I know on Old Ridge, I believe it was, I did screw around with the cows and pigs and beef. As well on Bandicoot I did it. But Bandicoot was a disaster. Good lord. And yeah. So I know that people are gonna say, "Oh, why did you edit Mulroy Bay? You're on YouTube. You're supposed to be playing the maps the way they were designed." Yes. However, if I was doing that, I'd keep complaining there was no bale storage down here. I know some people say, "Oh, you should never edit maps." Blah 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 blah. I know plenty of people, and the OEB guys say this themselves. So I'm sticking with the the big mod teams on this one. If you got issues with a map, fix them. If you don't like something about a map, go fix it yourself. Learn to edit, learn to use Giants Editor, fix the map. That's why I moved those sheds around and fiddled about. And to be honest, I really like what I've done. And I saw Sean Blaylock's comment that he likes what I've done. Because it's one thing to say, "Oh well, if I could, I'd do this and this and this." It's something completely different to actually go and do it. So that's actually why, if you notice, my map spotlights are a lot harsher than my than my mod spotlights. They're harsher because I kind of know. I'm looking at the maps and seeing, well, if I was doing it, I'd do this differently and that differently, and that. That's why it comes down so harshly on floating things and well, Z-fighting or the texturing, the flickering textures, flickers. Whoops. Flickering textures or Z-fighting is something that is pretty much impossible to avoid, I think. Because I've got a bit of it going on in the over at the house there. But it doesn't take... It only takes you about 5 minutes to double check the things that you put into a map in Giants Editor that they're actually on the ground. You know. And yes, it does involve a lot of faffing about and kind of zooming in and out and getting the camera in just the right position to see, but I prefer to waste a load of time making sure I had something right than to get it wrong and then have to fix it. Like, that's really annoying me because I didn't realize that would happen. I should have. I should have gone around some of the fields and checked. Now, obviously I wasn't going to go around all the fields, that would have taken me hours, so I guess this is kind of... This is... I guess if I was making art, this is the kind of stuff that would appear on the channel if I did a David Oldfield style, hey, I'm going to build a map and play on it at the same time kind of series. Which might happen, you never know. That'd be an interesting one for me. Because I would build a map that suits me and everyone out there. Yeah, you guys could say, hey, well, this would be cool, and I'd be like, if I can do it, I'll do it. Obviously, my skills aren't... I'm not great with Giants Editor, let me put it that way. I can do some stuff competently, plenty of other stuff it's like, well, that's a thing. Nav meshes, how do they work? How do you do nav meshes? It's a thing, but I don't understand it. So yeah, I mean, I just realized the joy of this is I forgot to turn on my timer, and Audacity is more or less timing it for me, which is lovely. I'm going to completely ignore it, but it's nice. So, apologies for the cough. I'm gonna see if I can cut that out. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of farm sim lately, and I finally figured out why I said, of course, I completely forgot to fix that thing. Assetto Corsa has been having some issues for me lately, and it's triple checked. I'd swear I triple checked to make sure those fertilizer bags weren't clipping through the back of the building. Apparently I didn't check enough. I'm gonna be in Giants Editor for another half hour tonight, by the looks of it. Because this is the kind of stuff that I need to do tonight, just so that I don't forget that it needs to be done. Oh well. More things for me to do. So, what was it? I completely forgot what I was saying. I was gonna say something and then I spotted that and I completely knocked my train of thought into the next country, I guess. Yeah. I've just gone blank now, which is beautiful. Oh, it's just beautiful, just running a blank. But, that was kind of... I don't know if I was talking about it when I noticed the fertilizer thing, but I'm going to talk about it now. And I know I've already kind of covered it, but you can never cover this too much. If you guys want to learn Giants Editor, first thing you do is download it. Second thing you do is find a map you like. And third thing you do is you edit the map. When I edited Coldborough all that time ago, I had my old PC. That was me learning Giants Editor, essentially. And yes, I had attempted to start a map start map making before. I realised that making a map from scratch and editing a map are two completely different things. I'm probably best off editing for a while. Plus you can kind of give maps your own personal feel. Yeah, it's nice playing on Nustin, but there are a few things that I want to do to it, and I possibly will. Mainly centering around the cow area. Although I might have to do some specific planting and stuff to get that ready. But yeah, some specific, there's some... Okay, I swear I didn't do that. So I think that might be something that was always there that I just never noticed. And now that I'm looking for things going wrong, I'm spotting all of these things that were always there. Just like, oh dear. And before anybody asks, I'm not releasing this version of the map. I'm not gonna go asking DylanAlcorn's permission. I'm not releasing it. This is private. This is my own version. If you want this version, edit it yourself. Don't be lazy. If you want an edit of a map, short of like not having the things available, which by the way, in iModding Sheds you can download from FSUK. The Giants fuel triggers you can pretty much rip out of Westbridge Hills or Bjornholm. It's not a big ordeal. All you have to do is look for the stuff and you'll find it. And when 2013 buildings work in 2015, that just means you got a bigger I suppose a bigger library of stuff to work with, because, well, it's a lot better having more potential stuff than being limited to like 6 things, and everybody using those 6 things. Despite the fact that every map maker who makes an Irish or British map usually uses the NI modding sheds, just because they are the best sheds. There's like 3 sets of British and Irish sheds, and everybody uses them. And now I'm becoming quite sure that this is my fault somehow, because I did notice the pig area here was kind of floating. Is it all floating, or yeah, I've gone and screwed up here. Yeah, this is my screw up because that was never floating before. I'll fix it later. Again, I've completely lost my train of thought. I am such a good YouTuber. Come on. 4,000. There we go. And I know with drive control I can tell it to stop automatically when it hits 4,000. I prefer forgetting to do that and forgetting to stop altogether and watching the bale pass me. It's going to go through the gate. Told you. Called it. So I'm so good at predicting the bale physics. Oh, by the way, I know I complain about Giants a lot, and I complain about the Giants physics and give Giants a hard time. There's 2 things I want to address here. Number 1, I realize they make the best farming simulator there is. I mean, UIG's latest reskin of a reskin of a reskin is fine if you like UIG games, which, no. And regardless of what name they bring it out under, it's UIG, it's clearly UIG. Especially when it's literally just a reskin of a game UIG actually brought out. I know Giants are the best. The reason I am kind of hard on giants at times is kind of the same reason that what's the best metaphor here? Or situation? This is going to be a bit weird. I'm hard on giants in the same way that a parent is hard on their child. I would love if giants were able to kind of pick up on stuff that the community said and you know, cut back on a bit of the forestry stuff maybe, or had a forestry DLC that you could get if you wanted, instead of kind of making the game, basing the game and all of the promotional material around forestry. I'd love if they decided on a new physics engine, because as things are, the brown bales are completely unrealistic, although the squares are not much better. But, you know, you can work with them. Once you learn the physics engine and what on earth it does to the bales, you can actually work around it, and you can work, you know, you can make the wonky physics work for you instead of fighting with them, I guess. But that shouldn't be a thing you should have to do. You shouldn't have to learn how the physics engine works. It should be kind of, oh well, this is heavy, I shouldn't be using this tractor for it. Or oh, this is, you know, these round bales are heavy, that'll help them stick to the ground as they roll away. Seriously, I've seen farmers bale hills, some actually almost identical to this. Ow. And they left the bales on the slopes, on the actual slope of the hill, as I've managed to wedge myself. And amazingly, the bales stayed put, because do you know what? Gravity is a thing, and it pulls straight down a lot more than it pulls at a funky angle of the hill. So yeah, that's actually one of my biggest qualms about Giant's physics, is the gravity is so wonky that it's nearly impossible to guess what's going to happen. And you have to learn from past mistakes what's going to happen. That's it, the round bales are... The round bales could do with being... This is going to sound weird. The round bales could do with being more square. What? I'm not even going to take that back. The round bales could be more square. The hitboxes for them, at least. Right now, the round bales roll off so easily because the hitboxes are, well, relatively round. And you'll notice when they're bouncing off that they will do kind of an octagonal bounce. That's because the hitboxes are roughly octagons. So that's why they just put too many edges. The maybe pentagons or square hitboxes, big squares, like, so that it looked like the bale was still on the ground. It would make bale stacking a hell of a lot easier. Round bale stacking. Or if there was just a special hitbox it used when it wasn't in contact with another bale, I guess. Or when it's not in contact with when it's not in contact with a bale or a bale 4. You know, it's fresh out of baler, do this. Or whatever. So I'm actually going to show you what I'm talking about. That's why I made a bale there. So that's worth quite a lot of money. So if I just turn this on, you can see the oh dear, I've crashed traps. Oh my god, I've made my entire computer go wonky. This is not good.